Yes, Serena and I broke up. Yeah. Like, I know a million people want to ask a million questions, and yeah, so the explanation everyone wants to know. So, dude, we like moved out of state, moved elsewhere in the world, and tried to have a life together. Both of us being way too young to really handle this individually, let alone together. So we were that classic couple that moved in together. I mean, it's not like, we never fought, we didn't really fight, but neither of us were happy with what we were doing on a day-to-day basis. We're working hourly jobs, just trying to make ends meet. It makes it really, really fucking hard to be really nice to somebody when you're in a shitty mood all the time. So it was, we're moving, obviously, shit hit the fan. And it's not, I don't know, it's like, everyone's like, oh, how are you dealing with it? Like, I'm so sorry, like, don't be. Like, I just went through something that changed my perspective on who I am and how I see other people, and I learned a lot and grew from it. So there's good and bad. You're always gonna have bad shit happen to you every day, Now, you can't go a single day without one thing happening that's less than desirable. So take it with a grain of salt, learn from it, grow from it. That's what I'm doing. I hope she's doing the same. I'm like really worried. Like, I don't want to be that guy that moved to Portland with a chick and then it didn't work out and just like came running back home. Like, that's not the case. I mean, I have, at least I hope it's not the case. I'm really trying to stay positive and to grow from this, to learn from it. So, I mean, this whole, obviously, is like very, I don't know, it's like a really interesting way to address a subject. Just set a camera up and recorded what I think. So basically, she is with somebody who she's happy with, and that's not a problem to me. That her being with somebody that makes her happy is not a detriment to my life. It does not, I'm not like upset about it. I'm not crying. It is what it is, And everyone's like, whoa, you guys seem so perfect and all this. Like, yeah, man, everybody likes to let on that everything's perfectly fine. I mean, not that we didn't have like a terrible relationship, like it was not like abusive or anything, but like, it's just some people don't work out. Like, we're just, it's the same reason, like, oh, well, you can love somebody doesn't mean that you're meant to be, And, I mean, the breakup was, yeah, dude, it sucked. Like, every breakup will suck. But both of us, like, stayed very cordial. We were very, nice about shit. Sometimes, yeah, like, this stuff happened that we didn't want to happen, and sometimes it comes out in, like, an aggressive manner or whatever, and both of us had, at one point just kind of had it, and it wasn't an argument. It wasn't a fight. It was just a discussion. Things just were the way they were. And we're just moving on. Like, it's mainly just to have every single person in the world right now asking me, oh my God, how are you? Like, I do appreciate the support, but to ask me, how are you handling this? Or like, how could you handle this? Like, this must be so terrible. Maybe it's, like, why can't I be happy about this? Why can't this be something that is good? Why does a breakup always have to be a bad thing? If it was bad, then it would, if two people didn't want to break up, they wouldn't break up. But if people want to break up, then they break up. It's good. It's good for both people. Yeah, it's heartbreaking. But only because you're leaving familiarity. It has nothing to do with, like, you have this idea in your head that, like, oh my God, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do without this person. Like, I don't know, the same shit you've been doing since before the person. Go back to being you. And so that's, that's the goal. That's the whole point. I'm coming home to regroup, figure. I moved out of state without a huge plan. I kind of had an idea what I was doing, but turns out my plan was bullshit. You know, I'm like a young kid. I didn't know what I was doing. I thought I had it figured out. I didn't. And so I'm going home to figure it out. And not that I'm just like peacing out and heading home. Like there's a lot that I've learned as an individual from being here. You know, there's just stuff like me going home is going to be, it's a limbo. I have bigger plans to move elsewhere by 2019, and I have a lot working on doing that. But in the meantime, it would be a very good thing for myself to be around family and be around like people who really give a shit about me. You know, like I have two people here that I would call my homies, two. You know, those people who are down for you all the time. I have two of those here. And, you know, no offense, like, there's a ton of you guys watching who probably are like, well, damn, that's probably not me. The two who they are, you know who you are, and I'm not going to say any names because just in case you feel like you are the one, feel like you're the one, man. If you feel like you're my homie, I'm not going to deny that. But, you know, I have a lot of people back home, and it's not this whole, like, I need to surround myself with people who support me, but I need to surround myself with people who will help me. You know, because if I give somebody a call at 4 a.m, like, yo, the lighting is perfect, like, I just would love to get out and film right now. I don't have those people to hit up here. Yeah, it's really hard for me to be doing what I do. I film. I'm behind the camera. I need something in front of the camera. And back home I have tons of friends who are down for that. I have people who have, I'm kind of connected there. Like I know, not like I'm hooked up, but like I am in contact with people who have a big following. And I can work with those people and, not to say that I'm stealing fans, but yeah, we're gonna collaborate. The same reason that any artist features another artist in their work. It's the same thing. So, I'm going home and I have plans to do bigger and better things than I was ever capable of here. And I don't know, I guess this is more like it's kind of a farewell, a message to Portland and everybody here. Just like, I had some really good times. It was really fun. I got to live outside of my mom's place for the first time. I lived in a house for the first time in my entire life. To explain the feeling of sitting in my room and hearing footsteps start down, creep downstairs and fade away as they, somebody descends to downstairs into the basement, into the man cave. Like, there's just something about hearing somebody come up and down the stairs in your own house, or the garage door opening, it's just like those little things, I'll never take that stuff for granted. And I learned about living with roommates and stuff like that. I had some less than desirable roommates in my first apartment. Fuck, I want to say that, but like they weren't bad people, but if I could choose to live with people, I would choose people more like me, and we were very different, and it just made it very difficult because everyone wants something different in the household. So like I don't want to piss anyone off, but it's not like it's like it didn't go super tight. There was conflict. So I learned how to handle that. I went to school, like, for the first time, like, bills in my name, having to pay bills, getting, and I wasn't really ever late on any bill for a year and a half, except for, like, once when I broke my collarbone and had to borrow money because I broke my collar, I couldn't work, and I was a day late, like, that was a pretty cool accomplishment for me. I was never late on a bill. I had to borrow money twice, 3 times, but it's not because I'm out spending it stupidly, I was just sometimes, 20 years old, you're not going to make enough money to live on your own and pursue a career. It's just not feasible. Anyways, so to Portland and everyone here, like, fucking thank you guys. Thank the people at Henry's. I mean, dude, I couldn't imagine what it would have been like working somewhere else. Like, I don't know, this, like, Naama drove me to the airport, or Naama drove me to the hospital, just was like, oh, you calling me at 9 a.m. with a broken bone, I'll take you to the hospital. And my manager was cool with her taking the day off to give me a ride to the hospital. I had coworkers come visit me while I was there. And just like the atmosphere there, people care about one another there. It's really cool. And, like Chef Nate and Kyle, like, those were you guys, like, I don't know, I'm sure you're well aware, like, anytime I had something going on in my life, you guys were the ones I came and talked to, and it was nice to have an adult to, I don't know, bounce my ideas off of. I had some people at the school like that, Nick Ward. But, you know, just as like, there was also some really bad people here. And I'm not gonna name the names, but I really hope that you watch this with an open mind and know that, like, you know, I had some people tell me that, like, that, I mean, not even, just like people at home and people here. You know, there's a lot of people telling me what I don't deserve and how I'm a bad person. And I just think that in no place ever is anyone able to tell somebody what they do or do not deserve or what kind of person they are. I will never know anyone fully. I will never know somebody's life story. They, you know, like Trey said, oh, I'm gonna butcher this. They'll never see what you don't show them. You know, like there's tons of stuff about me that I'm not blasting. You know, I'm avoiding saying certain things on this video for that particular reason. There's just some parts of people's lives that are their life. You know, it's not your life. You don't need to know about it, and it's not your issue to know about it. But that whole, you only know what I let you see. So to judge me based off of that, as if you know me as an entire person, is just, it blows my mind. Because I just would, you know, and I'm absolutely, I've done that, you know, I have done that. I've always done that. I've always been that person to kind of make up my mind about somebody, but I just had some slaps in the face while I was here. Not, you know, really, I didn't get slapped, but you know what I'm, like, no, I lost the ego, you know, I'm just me. But it was just crazy to have somebody talk to me and be so wrong about me. To think that they are in a place, you know, not saying that I'm better than them or they're better than me, but if you feel the need to give me advice on my life, then maybe you should be a model citizen yourself. And I mean, it's not that you have to be perfect to give advice. I'm gonna give advice on shit, on relationships, you know? I went through this. If somebody else is going through this, I will tell them my story, you know? But to talk down on somebody is just, that's, I don't know, man. I had some people who treat me like shit while I was here. And it made a big difference in how I was on a day-to-day basis. And that's, you know, a big part of me going home is I'm really excited to have an entirely new friend group who half of them I've never even met, just because they became tight through, you know, I got tight with them through Trey being at home or Serena. And these are like people that I've never met, but we FaceTime for hours and hours and have like plans, like, you know, like I have plans for a photo shoot to go out. I know the location, I know everything that I'm doing with somebody that I've never met, you know, stuff like that, that I'm really excited to kind of be around people who don't treat me like I'm worthless. And I would advise anyone, like, if you have anyone in your life that treats you like you are less than you feel like you are, get away from them. Get away. Like, there's you just have no reason to put yourself in a situation like that. It's pointless. It's toxic. It's just it seems like kind of ridiculous to say, like, only surround yourself with people who are nice to you. But there's a difference between being nice, you know, like calling somebody on somebody's shit, to call a friend out or call a homie out, or to be real, to speak the truth. And they're shit talking, and they're two entirely different things. One comes out of hate and lust and greed and jealousy, and the other one comes out of love and care and something worth having around you. And I don't know, just like I feel like this is gonna be on Facebook, it's too long for anything else. So you guys keep up with me. You know, you've seen my posts lately, like going from super opinionated topics and me spewing what I think is the truth to deleting them and deciding that I don't want to be, my profile should never be a place for somebody to feel less than or to be slandered, and not because, you know, it's like, ooh, a safe place, but it's not. It's just the fact that, like, how, you know, I'm talking about how I hate that there's so much negativity and hatred and people are getting mad at the wrong people, when I'm kind of like giving that mentality and environment to grow and to have a breeding ground, essentially. And it's just like, if I want to be an activist for what I believe in, and what I believe in is, that there's no place in this world for anger or hatred or anything else like that. Like, I don't know, it's a completely different thing to say, I don't like that person, so I'm just going to not have them around, not have them in my life. They can be them. I let go. Like, you have no reason to just stay mad at somebody. Just kind of let them do them. Just let them go off, man. I really hate to give up on somebody, but at some point, somebody has to want better for themselves, and you can't like always just give that to somebody. But anyways, there's no reason to have people around you that you don't like or don't get along with or don't listen or don't care. There's just not. There's no good coming out of it for either one of you. As much as you feel like you need to stay around and help somebody, if it's detrimental to you, then what's the point? If you're trying so hard to give them every single breath that you suffocate yourself, why have done it? That's my update, I guess. I don't know, it's where I'm at. Just my headspace. Thank you to every single person who has been around through all this and talked to me, wanted to just ask me how I feel about something, or to listen about like anything that I have to talk about, and just let me talk. Like, I don't, I'm a talker, and not a lot of people do give me the time to talk, which is, half the reason why I'm doing something like this. I have a lot that I would love to tell people, but no one, not a lot of people care to listen. So, not that that's like a cry for help, like, everyone's got their own life, but thank you so much to those who do care to listen. That's, I'm gonna like name it, I'm like worried because I don't want to leave anyone out, but Amanda and Lindsay and Kyle is just, I will never, Kyle for sure. The food runners, Spencer and Ariel and Brenton and Sydney, for like the first people to kind of come through and kick it. Really, it's just like fucking 90% of all Henry's people, as well as like Bonar. I don't know if you'll see this or this will get to you, but I don't know, man. Like, this guy just kind of like in the elevator, he was like, hey, I know you, we go to the same school, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm down to kick it. So I just like came to his apartment. We lived in the same complex on different floors. We just kind of like talked. I don't know, man. It was just like, I'm so in love with things like that. That is like, it seems like super weird, but like, I don't know, when some random person is just like, hey, you're familiar, like, let's have a conversation. I'm like, cool, new minds, new thoughts. Like, that's just really cool to me. So, there's a ton of people here. Echo, oh man, like, I'm really glad that I met you. That's really cool. Like, we've never even hung out, but just kind of like, we added each other on social media, and just kind of like seeing the life that he lives and what he deals with and what he's going through. It's just like, it's cool to see other people staying at it, with everything that's going on around them, to just kind of stay working on what they want to do. And just people like that, man. Portland was not the worst place that I've ever been, but I definitely had some of the worst times that I've ever had here. I'll get into that in another video. I would love to talk to my family about it first, and so that way they're not having to hear kind of my story through a video on Facebook. So I will be posting these more regularly, only because I don't even care if anyone watches them. It doesn't bother me, but it's an outlet for myself that, it feels really good for me to get my ideas out. That's something that is important to me. Some people like to have alone time. I like to have talking time. It does not matter if somebody listens, but a camera makes me feel like somebody's listening. So this is more therapeutic for me than it is interesting for you. But if you do watch till the end, because now we're at 19 minutes and 48 seconds, thank you for listening, and I will talk to you another time. feel free to reply with another video or something like that. I love face-to-face communication, and it's a lot better than texting. So later, I'm gonna get back to moving my house. I will see you soon, Alaska. I'm super stoked.